3-1 on Friday. We've got three more games to talk about on Sunday. Let's talk some hockey. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Just a Bet Outside. My name is Karan Thacker, and we've got three games to talk about for Sunday, November 10th. And as always, before we get into the best bets for today, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. All three of those things go a long, long way. And also, if you're new around here, if you haven't had a chance to join the Discord already, the link is posted in the description below. That is your quickest way to access my bets because I post them in there as soon as I'm locking something in. And a good example is this morning. I'm recording this video on Saturday night, so on Saturday morning, I posted in the Discord to take the New York Rangers money line. Played that for 1.8 units at minus 180 as soon as the news dropped that Husso is starting for the Red Wings. And yeah, the Rangers have been dominating that head-to-head matchup between New York and Detroit. And by the time that same play was posted on YouTube, the line had already moved to minus 205 in a few hours, and I think it's sitting at like minus 225 right now. So we've done our job there, beat the line movement, and hopefully the Rangers can come through. But I digress. The point of this entire story is join the Discord if you have not already. And now that I'm done rambling, let's talk about how we did on Friday. Alright, so we got four bets on Friday. Let's talk about the winners first. Winner number one, we took Max Domi under half a point for 1 unit at minus 135. That cash for us pretty sweat free, so I might look to keep taking this play until the line gets too juiced. Just because Domi is stepped up right now while Matthews is out. But the thing is that Max is not on that power play number one, so the Leafs are loading up Tavares, Nylander, Marner, and they're also moving Nylander up and down different lines throughout the game. So with Max not getting that power play one time, he has to get involved in a 5-on-5 goal, which should be closer to like minus 200 or minus 250 for the under. So nice to see that cash sweat free, and look out for this play in the future as well. And for winner number two, we had a three-leg parlay of Nylander and Larkin to record 2 shots on goal each. And we had Lucas Dostal from the Ducks to record 21 saves at minus 159 for 1.75 units. And this one was a little bit sweatier than I expected, but it was still nice to see it cash for us. Larkin's 2 shots were sweat-free. He had that early in the second period, but it was actually Nylander who didn't get his second shot late into the third period with about 4 minutes left. He had quite a few shooting opportunities, but the Wings just played him really physically throughout the game, so he wasn't able to get some of those shots on net or off as a whole. And then Dostal, he gave up 3 goals on 9 shots to start the game against Minnesota. I was scared that they were going to pull him a little bit, but that was actually one of the reasons I included him in the parlay, because it was John Gibson's first game back from injury off of the IR. And I felt Dostal was bulletproof here. You know, there's no way that the Ducks are going to pull him and then just throw Gibson into the game, into probably what's a pretty messy game with Minnesota. Not a good way to treat your star goaltender. So Lucas did not get pulled. He came back and he had a strong second period. He finished the second period with 19 saves and then cashed the parlay for us super early in the third period. And winner number 3, we had Matt Roy under 2.5 block shots and Sandin to record 1 block shot. This was super sweat-free. Sandin had 1 block in the second period, nice and early, and I don't even think that Matt Roy recorded a block shot all night. So easy cash there on a 1-unit play at minus 144. And then for our only loser of the night, we had Dylan Strome under 2.5 shots on goal, parlayed up with Tanev, 1 block shot, and Nylander to record 2 shots on goal. And honestly, if I had to play this again, I would. In 13 games this year, this was only the 4th time that Strome actually went over 2.5 shots on goal. And both of the other parlay pieces did end up hitting. Tanev got his 1 block shot nice and early in the game. And we just talked about Nylander also cashing for us. So I'm cool with the logic behind the play. The results are what they are for that loss. And there's a Friday bet recap. A 3-in-1 day is great to see. We have 4 plays in action on Saturday, so hopefully we can keep that going. In terms of the overall record and units, I've been pretty tied up this week, so I haven't had a chance to update my Excel sheet, but I will have that updated for the next video. And with yesterday's bet recap out of the way, or Friday's bet recap out of the way, let's talk about today's best bets. Starting off with the 10-2-2 Minnesota Wild traveling from Anaheim to Chicago to take on the 5-9-1 Blackhawks. Minnesota does have Saturday night off, so the travel from Anaheim to Chicago is not as bad as it would be if this was a back to back matchup. And the expected goaltenders for this game are Philip Gustafsson for the Wild and Peter Mrazek for the Chicago side. The Wild and the Hawks played head to head 3 times last year, and the Wild swept the season series 3-0, with 2 of those games being played in Chicago. And the totals in those games were 5, 3, and 4 goals. So the under 6.5 has cashed in all 3 games last year. But I'm going to stay away from the total. I've got 2 best bets for this game. I like the Wild money line straight up. It's juiced at minus 170 right now on FanDuel, and for good reason. I'll be playing that for 1.7 units to win back 1 unit, because if we look back and we expand the sample size to not just the 3 games from last year, but 5 games between these 2 teams head to head, dating back to the year before last, the Wild have won 5 straight games against Chicago. And for the data this year, Minnesota has a nice 10-2-2 record to start the season. And I'll be honest, the goal difference of plus 14, it looks good on surface, but the expected goal difference is actually only plus 0.6 goals. So they're really, really outplaying the metrics right now. I would expect some regression from Minnesota in the future, but not just quite yet. The expected goal difference of 0.6 is actually 13th best in the NHL for Minnesota. And on the Chicago side, their goal difference is minus 4, and their expected goal difference is minus 5.65. So their 5-9-1 record is just about where they should be. They're not really, outplaying the metrics too much. If we look at how both of these teams are doing at home and on the road as well, just to kind of cover that trend, the Wild on the road are 7-1-1. Very impressive. And the Hawks at home are a dismal 1-4-0 to start the year. So that also gives me a bit more confidence in the Wild moneyline play, just straight up and laying that juice. And the second play, the lines are not out yet, but I'll be on the Wild first period moneyline for 0.3 units. I won't be taking the puck line minus 0.5, just the money line for the first period. So in case it ties after the first, we get a push. And in the 3 games head to head between these 2 teams last year, the Wild won 2 out of 3 first periods, and 1 out of the 3 did end up voiding. So we will be safe with this play regardless, as long as Minnesota does not lose the first period. And the Wild, they're also the most profitable first period moneyline team in the league this year. They have 8 wins and 2 losses in the first period with 4 pushes. So overall, they're plus 5.80 units in the first period if all you did is take their money line all year so far. Number 1 in the league. So yeah, 2 plays there, 2 units total invested on the Wild. Hopefully they can come through for us. And next up, we've got the 4-9-2 San Jose Sharks traveling to New Jersey to take on the 9-5-2 Devils. The expected goaltending matchup is Mackenzie Blackwood for the Sharks and Jake Allen on the Jersey side. And the Sharks are struggling to start on the road this year. They are 1-5-1, with the New Jersey Devils at 4-2-2 at home. And my favorite bet for this game, I'm not laying either side because San Jose has won a few games against New Jersey over the last few years. I'm just going to stick to the over 5.5 for 1 unit at minus 144 on FanDuel. I think we're getting great value here. This line should be set to like 6.5 if you ask me. And when I saw the 5.5, I thought it would be juiced to like minus 170. Minus 144 is a fantastic price because last year the Devils and the Sharks, they played against each other 2 times, and both goal totals were 9 in both games. So if you look at the last 5 matchups as well, like expand the sample size a little bit back to 2021, since these 2 teams, they don't play against each other too many times, being in different conferences. But 5 games dating back to 2021, over 5.5 and over 6.5 has cashed in 4 out of the 5 matchups. And then you look at the data for this year, both the Devils and the Sharks are bottom 10 teams in terms of goals against and expected goals against. The Sharks are 5th worst in the league in terms of the goals against. They've allowed 36 goals against this season. And in terms of the expected goals against, they're 3rd worst in the league at 36.71. And then on the Devils side, they're 7th worst in the league in terms of the goals against with 32, and 7th worst in the league in terms of expected goals against as well at 30.5. So yeah, bottom 10 teams, giving up a lot of goals. The historical data checks out, and the data from this year checks out. Give me the over 5.5, 1 unit minus 144 on FanDuel. And that will do it for today, folks. Those are the 3 best bets for Sunday, November 10th. Let's do a quick bet recap. So bet number 1, we're taking the Minnesota Wild money line minus 170 for 1.7 units to win back 1 unit. Bet number 2, we are taking the Wild first period money line. The odds are not out yet, so we'll put that in once they are released, but we'll take that for 0.3 units, and that is a combined 2 units invested on the Minnesota Wild side. And then for bet number 3, we're taking New Jersey Devils San Jose Sharks over 5.5 at minus 144 on FanDuel for 1 unit. Make sure you guys keep an eye out on the pinned comments. We're always putting out plays as the player props are released on the morning of. On Saturday night here, I don't have too many lines to work with, but always got my eye on the block shots, the shots on goal, and as you can see, recently we're taking some unders on points as well. So keep an eye out on the pinned comment. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment as always, guys, and we will catch you for the next